Captain Conrod and the Endangered Cats. When people say the name of the band, they look curious, we'll say. And some people ask me where it came from. And when I tell them that there's actually a story, that it actually did come from something, they tend to look a little relieved that there really is something to this name. And it basically came from two things. It came from a lifelong love for the band Rush, and from a number of visits to the beautiful country of Nicaragua.
There were things she wanted to do in life, places she wanted to roam, but with everyone so busy, she'd have to learn them on her own.
So let me tell you a little story about where the band name came from. This video is powered by Conrod Photography, Captain Conrod and the Endangered Cats, and ConrodMusicPublishing.com. So let me take you down to Nicaragua. Nicaragua is a beautiful country in the middle of Central America. For me, it was a place to escape the normal life, the modern life. For many years, it was very untouched by modern society, or the first world as we'll refer to it, and so it was a real refreshing change. In Nicaragua, there is a lake. It's called Lake Nicaragua, and it is huge. It is like being on the sea. In the middle of Lake Nicaragua is an island called Ometepe, which is basically two volcanoes. Every time we went to Nicaragua, we would go to Ometepe. And when the boat did land in Ometepe, I always went to the same guy to rent my motorcycle for my time on Ometepe. And on one of the visits, I got the receipt for the motorcycle. And I looked at it and I said, "Is that me?" And they said, "Yes, that's your receipt." And I looked at it. Now, up to that point, I had many mispronunciations of my name. I had Conway, Conroy. My favorite to that point in time was Conrod. "Dear Mr. Conrod, you are a valued customer of ours." But when I looked at that receipt and I see Mr. Conrod, it left a lasting impression. Sometime after that trip, the musical entity of Captain Conrod was created, but never really utilized. Now, a few years later, it is being utilized. The second part of the name, the Endangered Cats, comes from the lifelong love of the Canadian rock band Rush. I remember years ago walking in downtown Halifax, listening to my Walkman and listening to a tune called Best I Can, where one of the lyrics Geddy says is, "I'm an endangered cat." And that lyric stuck with me in the back of my mind for years. And when this recording project started up and a name had to be formed, that's what got stuck in there. Now I can name an image, I can name a song, I can name a chapter, I've named companies, I've named projects, but to come up with a band name, a name that is going to encompass all that you are going to take on musically, to try and capture all that in one name, now that is a tough job. And then after you decide on it, you've got to make sure you can get the domain for it. So this one was just so crazy, there was no problem getting the domain for it. So out of this project is the studio recordings with the project name of Captain Conrod and the Endangered Cats. And then there is the stripped down songwriting aspect of it, under ConrodMusicPublishing.com, where I will continue to post lyric sheets as well as some stripped-down recordings of those writings. So that's where the name Captain Cowsod and the Endangered Cats came from. Nicaragua and Rush.